blue corner, weighing 225 and 1/2 of 1/4 pound, is Misanov Rachnikon.
And in the other corner, the original Boba, Jeremy Bulloch. How you doing, Jeremy?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Great. Last time I saw you was in Japan.
Japan, amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. A great trip, wasn't it? That was really hot out there.
I was amazed it was so hot.
Yeah.
And, some countries you don't think, because they've had terrible typhoons and things, you don't think it's going to be boiling hot.
Right.
But it was a lovely atmosphere there, and the Japanese were very appreciative that everyone had come over to celebrate their convention. So we all had wonder, and the food is outstanding.
Oh, lots of sushi, lots of sushi. And last time we spoke, we were saying it would be great if Hasbro put out the Jeremy 3-pack, Boba Fett, Lieutenant Shekel, and Captain Colton, all in one pack where you could buy all the action figures. The good news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con is Hasbro is going ahead and they're producing the Captain Colton figure.
I heard that actually just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately didn't get to Comic-Con, but it's fantastic. And I've seen a picture of it. It's got my white hair now growing, so they're up to date with it.
Yeah.
And then we say to Hasbro, then you've got to follow it up with Lieutenant Shekel.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all that's left. And then we'll have the 3-pack. How did you end up getting that role of Lieutenant Shekel?
Well, it was funny. It was a day where I was sitting around as in the Boba Fett outfits, minus helmet and jetpack. Suddenly there was this slight panic, saying, Jeremy, quick, go into the wardrobe, quick. Get an Imperial officer's outfit on. Now, we need you for... I said, what's going on? So it was all this, not panic, but please, can you do it? They realised there was no one available to play it. So I got into the outfit and spent a lot of the day being a different character.
Well, that was really cool, though, because you got to act, your face on screen. You're there. You had the tough job of getting behind Carrie Fisher and holding her.
That was difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure that was kind of rough.
We rehearsed it for months.
Yeah, you'd have to. You'd have to. But it's a really cool scene. It's a really cool scene. And like I said, it was great that you actually got your face on the screen for once. But then here come the prequels, and you're Captain Colton. So looking forward to getting that figure.
Well, no, I'll certainly be first in line, or I will ask someone, could you possibly put it aside so I can get it at a later date? And my little collection, it's not massive, is sort of growing, and I like unusual things. And here in Chicago, I picked up one or two bits, a lovely picture by one of the comic book artists.
Oh, great.
And it's lovely. I love wandering over there and seeing all these talented artists.
Yes,
it's just fantastic.
There's a lot of people dedicating their talents to Star Wars, too. And as far as Boba Fett collecting goes, he's certainly a big focus for people who like to collect a certain character. A lot of people like to collect just Boba Fett stuff.
Well, I think Boba Fett has this marvelous following because if you look at the outfit, there's so many gadgets on it. And a few years back, if you got the wrong shaped glove with a little nick out of it, it was suddenly going to be worth another $100.
Right, yes.
And so they really get into this collecting. And Boba Fett stuff seems to come out every 6 months.
What's even funnier is on the newest Robot Chicken DVD for the Robot Chicken Star Wars 2. They said, we put more Boba in this because we know Boba sells. And this is what it says this on the actual back of the DVD.
Oh, does it really?
It says, we put Boba in there because we know Boba sells. And it said, Boba, 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 cha-ching. So those guys know what they're doing. Have you seen that Robot Chicken?
No.
It's pretty funny. They go a little over the top with the character of Boba a few times.
Yes, I'm sure.
But it's very funny. Seth Green and those guys do a great job.
No, I'll definitely download that and have a look.
Absolutely. It's on DVD, too. Funny stuff. You're a fixture out at Disney Star Wars Weekends in Florida. You were out there again this year, weren't you?
Yeah, again, very lucky to be invited. And Maureen and I go out for a week. We like to actually go out and stay for a bit and walk around.
Exactly.
Even go on some of the rides. We're still young enough.
Yeah.
And then the events each weekend are terrific. So many people turn up. And even people are, my goodness, what a surprise. We picked this weekend and you're here. So all in all, it's a terrific week away.
Last October in Dallas, I had the pleasure of meeting your half-brother, Robert Watts.
Yes, Robert.
And I had no idea you guys were related until we had our conversation.
Well, you see, a lot of, and I have to say, when Robert said, look, there's this small part of this bounty hunter, get your agent onto it and get an interview time.
Yes.
And you ought to come down and have a look. So it's really through him that I ever got to the studio to be interviewed.
Oh, okay. So he does. You know what? He downplayed that a little bit.
Well, he does, because he said, look, he's been working behind the camera for as long as I've been an actor, so that's 50 years. Mm-hmm. And our paths have crossed once more on another film I was in, and he was the second assistant.
Okay.
So it was lovely to see him, but I hardly ever spoke to him when we were filming because he was too busy.
Yeah. I mean, there's being a producer of a production that big. I mean, obviously you're juggling a lot, spinning a lot of plates, and Robert's got that tenacity.
Yes. And
that characteristic that just makes a producer great. You could tell he's someone who doesn't quit until he crosses the finish line.
No, he's
and then he keeps running.
No, and he knows his job really well, and sort of slowing down a bit now. But he's so interested in what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. We went to France together to talk about Star Wars and what he's doing now. Mm-hmm. And he's lectured at universities, and they were thinking of making him an honorary. I can't remember what they call it now. An honorary degree. He gets an honorary degree from a university, so he's thrilled about that if that happens.
Yeah.
And we don't bump into each other too often, but it's usually twice a year. So we catch up with what's going on. He says, "Where have you been?" I say, "Chicago," and this. So that's good.
The current state of Star Wars, we're watching the Clone Wars on Cartoon Network. Have you caught any episodes of that?
I don't have Cartoon Network.
No, you don't.
I don't. I'm sort of behind a bit. I don't have satellite television, so we watch the few channels we can in England on terrestrial television.
Oh, okay. You guys, you got to get a satellite dish.
Well, we will someday, but I don't want to ruin my house by putting a satellite dish on there.
You like the aesthetic charm of no.
But they are getting better
dish.
where they're tiny.
They're smaller now, yeah.
Some of the time you need them to be hidden.
Yeah, and it was just released at San Diego Comic-Con, information that Mandalorians are going to be playing a role in Season 2 of the Clone Wars.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's brilliant.
So I guess we had heard up to this point that Mandalorians... Boba was the last to exist once Jango was killed off. But apparently that's not true. There are more Mandalorians out there, and so they're definitely going to be featured in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Are you aware of this Mandalorian language that has popped up?
Well, funny you should say that, because just recently someone asked me about the language. Do you know it? I said, yes, fluently. and I turned away and kept walking. I think I might have to learn a bit.
Yeah?
Because there is this Mandalorian speak.
There is. Do people ever come up to you and start speaking?
Well, someone did something, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm sworn to classified information. I can't give you an answer yet. Thank you.
Well played. But apparently that came out of publishing, and the Mandalorians are very, very popular. I always call the Mandalorians, they're like the great crossover hit of Star Wars, that everyone likes them. They're like the Shania Twain of Star Wars. Everyone likes them.
You're absolutely right, yes.
So, I mean, either you like the good guys, you like the bad guys, but then there's that gray area where the Mandos fit in, and everyone just seems to really, it's all the gadgets, the cool helmets.
No, but if you look, the gadgets, there are certain dents in the helmet that people can have a 20-minute conversation about. Yeah. Why has Boba Fett got a dent there? I said, well, he didn't duck quick enough. Right. There's lots here, and I'm actually, although I played it, I'm still fascinated by the character. That's
great. I mean, the way they did beat up the costume and everything really gives Boba a sense of history. The second he stepped onto the set, there was that tension between Vader and Boba too that also led to a little bit of you knew this was a man with a past.
Well, the thing is, it's lovely, the thing when Darth Vader is talking to Boba Fett, and Boba Fett, as you wish. He's not going to take anything from anybody.
Yes.
Jabba the Hutt, powerful. Darth Vader, powerful. When it comes down to, I think Boba Fett would probably finish Darth Vader off. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that now, ladies and gentlemen, live.
You heard it. You heard it right there. And you're just putting it out there. That's it. Here you have a photo of the set of the carbon freezing chamber from Empire Strikes Back. I've heard some actors complain about the steam and the heat in that room.
The steam. What happened behind it? The steam would go up the back of your legs and burn you. Just the steam.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to suddenly go, oh, George, could we have a break for 20 minutes? My backs and my calf muscles are awfully hot. Is it at all? No, you just went through the pain.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to be the first one to complain.
I think Dave Prowse told me that his eyepiece is fogged up. Did you go through that?
Yeah, I had the same problem.
Kind of working blind then.
Yeah, but it's funny because I think out of all the characters, I think Anthony Daniels had the worst time with that costume because to be bolted in, I'm fairly claustrophobic. Yeah. So I think he probably had a bad time. Dave did probably as well. Mine was less of a problem because I could get that helmet off very quickly.
Yeah, and probably a little more air circulated up through the bottom there of the helmet. Did you ever wipe out wearing that thing? No serious injuries.
It's funny.
Or falls
I think I was probably the fittest I've ever been was when I was playing that. I was playing soccer twice a week. And very fit. So nothing worried me. You don't even think about I'm got the helmet on. I'm going to be claustrophobic. No, I didn't. I was fine.
Now you call it soccer, but I mean most English people say football, right? But you just
we call it.
You do call it soccer.
No, we call it football.
Oh, you call it football
because it's a foot.
Yeah, right, and a ball
goes on the ball.
Yeah, right. But here in America, football means a whole different thing.
You catch it. Yes,
I appreciate you.
So it's rugby, isn't it?
Well, it's it's somewhere in between.
Rugby.
Yeah. Rugby to me is a little more. There's a bloodthirst in rugby that some people would say that about the NFL too. So, but big soccer player. You still play?
No, not anymore. I was a reasonable player. You know, I could score with my head. That was my forte. That was the strength. Being able to climb and time it and go boom into the back of the net.
Yeah. So
enjoyable game. A lot of very good players in America, though. Young kids playing, but it seems they suddenly lock off and go on to baseball, basketball, American football.
My oldest son started playing soccer, and I just think it was a lot of running around for him. So he's more about baseball and karate now. My youngest son is a soccer machine, so he loves it. It's a great sport.
Well, you never know. Manchester United might buy him for £2,500.
Sure.
When he's young, 14, 15, he'll be over there in the best.
I'll bring him. I'll tell you what. I'll bring him here tomorrow. You can take him with you.
Oh, great! We'll sign him up.
You know, there's a funny story you tell about a line you flubbed in Empire Strikes Back.
Well, it was the day, and you were going up, and there was rather like a green screen. We were walking up with one or two stormtroopers there, and I had to turn around to say to them as they're going up in the cup with the carbonate, saying, "Put Captain Solo in the cargo hold."
That's it, yeah.
So he said, "Okay, everyone ready on the studio? Quiet, please. Thank you very much." All right, Jeremy? Yes, fine. All right, stand by and action. Put Captain Cargo in the Solo hold. And I stood there and I thought, what on earth have I said? I have very few lines in this, and I've completely cocked this one up. But they say, "Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Jeremy. Have a relax a moment," and I thought, no, surely they've heard me. And I suddenly realised underneath the helmet, I could have been saying, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." How they can't hear what I'm saying. So luckily I got away with it.
Put Captain Cargo in the Solo hold.
Now, was it Kirsch who directed that scene?
Yes. Yes, it was. Yes.
What's it like working with Irving Kirsch?
Oh, he's terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Smart guy.
He's very, very said, "Now, Jeremy, we need this bit there." Because I never had a script. You were just told what was happening during the day.
Yeah, okay.
It's great. He's a lovely man as well.
Good guy. And then in Jedi, you worked with Richard Marquand.
Yeah.
What are the differences between those two directing styles?
Richard acted when he was younger, and I worked with him, funnily enough.
Oh, did you?
I can't remember what it was now, but I remember him.
And you worked with him as he was working as an actor, right?
Actor.
Okay.
I'm sure, I hope I've got that right, and not somebody else I'm thinking of, but Richard was lovely, sweet man. He died quite early as well, which was such a shock.
Yeah.
But they were all different. Irving Kershner actors knew what he wanted straight away, and he was very strong.
Yeah.
So it was a tricky film, Empire Strikes Back, but it came out beautifully.
Is Empire your favorite Star Wars film?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of fans feel that way.
A little darker.
A little darker.
A lot of new characters coming in, and
much more of a character study.
Yes.
As a fan, I was so disappointed when Boba Fett didn't figure into the bigger picture, into the script more. I mean, the overall story. Just he was a hired hand, worked for Jabba, and then got wiped out in the first third of the film.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi was sort of disappointing. Only for me. I enjoyed the film, but as I always say, well, that's showbiz.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the Starlight Pit, and that's the end of you. Good night, and then that's it.
In the Robot Chicken, they show what happens to Boba once he goes into the pit.
Oh, really?
And he has a conversation with another one of Jabba's goons down in there, and it's pretty funny because the way he plays it all out for him is that he jumped into the pit on purpose after killing everyone. Said, boom, 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 I got him, and I blew this guy up, and I killed Skywalker and jumped into the pit. He said, no, I didn't go out like a punk. I highly recommend you see it. It's
I would
funny.
definitely see that.
Now, in the films, actor Jason Wingreen, did the voice of Boba Fett. Then he was replaced in the special editions by Tim Morrison. How do you feel about that change?
Well, a lot of fans said, why do they need to change it? I can sort of agree with them, but I can understand why they've done it, because they've kept... Now we know that he's a clone, but a super clone. He grows naturally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then he's a clone of Tamura Morrison, and the voice has to be changed because of that character now is the clone. So it's complicated, but it's just putting it right. But the real fans would say, well, what was wrong with the original voice? Nothing wrong with it. It's just the film is changed slightly. Right.
Well, it just adds that continuity.
Yeah.
It just, makes it brings it all together, Those little things that they changed in the special editions just to sort of tie it all in together and make it one big film, all 6 of them together, I guess. Did you ever meet Jason Wingreen?
No, we spoke on the phone, and he was coming over to London.
Yeah.
And I missed him there, and I missed him in LA. But we've spoken on the phone.
Okay.
Never met him.
Another guy that you didn't work with on screen, but you certainly know from doing conventions for all these. How many conventions would you say you've done? I mean, I know it's
difficult to say. It's over the last 10 years, I suppose. So 50 odd, maybe more.
Oh, I thought it would be a higher
more,
number than that.
There are a lot. Like this year, I've done one.
Okay. Which one? This one or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of things to do. As much as I enjoy them, because you meet up with old friends again, but I don't want to do too many.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people get fed up with you, really.
well, we always love having you on the show. There's no question about it. But what I was getting at is a guy that you've been out on the convention circuit a good bit with over the last 10 years is Richard Leparmentier.
Yeah, Richard Leparmentier.
Is that how you say it?
Well, yeah, it's French.
Yeah.
The French part, Richard Leparmentier.
And I thought Richard was supposed to be here this weekend.
Richard was supposed to be here, but there's a problem in a surgeon who's going to do his knee is only available in the next week, and he can't. That might be a long delay. He's got to have this surgery on his knee. Okay. So that's why. Yeah.
Oh well, best.
It's a shame because it would have been nice if he'd been here.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I've actually never interviewed him, so I really wanted to. So best of luck to him. I hope he goes through the surgery okay. There's a talk of him doing a fan film called Mahdi Now.
Yes.
And I
think that's on the back burner at the moment. But he is trying to do it.
Well, that's, like I said, too bad about Richard not being able to come to this, because I really did want to meet him. So, best of luck with your knee surgery, Richard Leparmentier.
Yeah,
Leparmentier, right?
Yeah, Leparmentier.
Leparmentier.
Yeah, or Montpensier, Leparmentier.
Now, we were talking about satellite television, cable television, and you say you only just get your basic channels. Were you able to watch Justin Lee Collins bring back Star Wars special from last summer that you appeared in?
Yeah, we definitely did that, and it was very funny. He's a very funny man. He brings out everything. You have to be careful of him.
Yeah.
He's outrageous. No, that was a fun program. It was done with tongue-in-cheek. It was a fun event.
Well, he seems like someone who can laugh at himself.
Yeah, he does, because he makes fun of himself, and he has he's got the skill of asking like Carrie Fisher. Come on, I've got something for you. You've got to come out here and do it. And they actually did it. Even Billy D as well was lovely. Was stopped on the street.
But one of the funniest visuals from Bring Back Star Wars was Justin and Warwick in the hot tub.
Oh, I just thought that was just because Warwick didn't know he was coming.
Right.
I knew he was coming.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, why don't you tell our listeners how to get a hold of you and how to get a copy of your book, Flying Solo?
Well, just looking on my website, jeremybulloch.com, will bring you an update of where I've been, where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Right.
Plus, go to the little piece where you get on to purchase Flying Solo, the book, and you'll find out everything about me there.
And the book's about everything.
Well, it's really starting as a 12-year-old, over 50 years as an actor. It's a fun thing. It's light-hearted, mostly light-hearted, which I think it should be. And there are 2,000 copies, but over 1,000 have gone now. So it'll still take time, plenty of time for people to read a bit. That you can actually get on there and read about it.
Yeah.
See,
there's some great photos.
A few quotes.
Great photos in the book.
Oh, yeah, some
too,
good photos, yeah.
So I wouldn't hesitate. If you're a Jeremy Bulloch fan, Boba Fett fan, a Star Wars fan, check out Flying Solo. Get it at jeremybulloch.com, right?
Absolutely. Spot on.
Well, thank you so much. I couldn't have a Boba Fett BobaFest unless I had Jeremy Bulloch.
Well, that was difficult to say, wasn't it?